Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Griffin with the Unit 8 Lesson 2 video about inscribed figures. We're going to be doing triangles and quadrilaterals, inscribed, and circles. So for the opening exercise, please give it a shot and then come back and check your answers. Pause it here. And those are the answers. And we'll go on to the notes. So for the beginning, we have Thales' theorem. Thales' theorem says that if we have a triangle and it has vertices that are all points that are on the circle, like here, and then one of the sides happens to be a diameter, so that you would get a triangle like this. Okay, all the vertices or corners are on the circle and one of the sides is a diameter. Then what happens is, because that's a diameter, this is 180 degrees, it's a semicircle, and this angle has to be 90 because it's inscribed to that 180 degrees. And so Thales' theorem says if you've got a diameter, then that triangle has to be a right triangle. Now when your figure that's inscribed is a quadrilateral, meaning all four corners of the quadrilateral are on the circle, then that quadrilateral has special properties as well. Angles that are across from each other are supplements, so a plus b equals 180, as well as x and y adding up to equal 180. And that only works if all four corners are on the edges of the circle. All right, let's apply some of these properties and some of the others into our examples. So in number 1, we have this 74 that's given. It's the only angle degree that's given. So as a central angle, it would go out here as well. And then angle 3 happens to be inscribed to it. So it'd be half of that 74, it should be 37. Now angle 2 and angle 3 are in an isosceles triangle since I have 2 radii, so angle 2 also has to be 37. Also, the other triangle here has to be an isosceles triangle as well. Angle 1 and this have to add up to 180, so if I do 180 minus 74 and divide it by 2, I'll get angle 1. Or I can realize that this has to be 90 since I have a diameter, and Thales' theorem says I have to have a right triangle. And if I did that, then I would do 90 minus 37 to get 53. On to number 2, I have some parallel lines I can tell by the arrows. So using alternate interior, I can find that angle 2 is 33. Angle 33 degrees down here is also an inscribed angle, so it's half of this arc, which makes that arc 66. And angle 1 is a central angle to that same arc, so it's also 66. Alright, for number 3, if you notice we have a diameter drawn, that makes this angle a right angle because of Thales' theorem. We also have angle 1, which is inscribed to the 124 degree arc, so it would be half of it, which would be 62. And then because this out here is a semicircle, I can do 180 minus 124 to get arc 3, which would be 56. For number 4, again we have a diameter drawn, so again we have Thales' theorem making angle 2 a right angle. And angle 1 is inscribed to the 98 degree arc, so it's half of that, which would be 49 degrees. Alright, for number 5, I'm going to start with the 62 since that's what I was given, and I realize it's an inscribed angle, so if I follow it outward, it would be half of this arc out here, making this arc 124. And then because I do have a semicircle with the diameter here, I can do 180 minus 124. And then half of that would be angle 1, which would be 28. And half of the 124 would be angle 2, which would be 62. Alright, for number 6, I have this 18 degrees, and that is inscribed, so if I follow it outward, this arc here would be 36. I also have a diameter with a semicircle going on. That means that by Thales' theorem, this is a right angle, and 90 minus 18 would get me 72. It also means that because of the semicircle, here I could do 180 minus 36 and get that this arc is 144, or I could have used the inscribed. And then angle 1 would be half of that, so it would also be 72 because they're inscribed to the same arc. Alright, for number 7, this time I have no diameter, but I do have an inscribed quadrilateral. Out here, these are the 4 sides of the quadrilateral, and all of the points are on the circle. That means that opposite angles are supplements, so that if I do 180 minus the 81, I can get angle 2, which would make this one 99. To get arc 1 now, I'm going to use a few different things. I've got a triangle inside here with the 81 and the 28, and if I subtract those from 180, I will get that the missing angle here is 71, and then if I double it, I can get 142 for that arc since the 71 is inscribed to it. All right, for number 8, this is the center of the circle. It doesn't say that, but I'm telling you it is. Oh, it says it at the top. So because of that, angle, this 110 here is a central angle, and it would equal the arc number 4, also 110. Angle 1 happens to be inscribed to that arc, so it's 55. Angle 3 also happens to be inscribed to that same arc, so it's also 55. And then in here, I have an isosceles triangle because these are both radii, so angle 2 would also be 55 degrees. Okay, now for number 9, I do have a quadrilateral, but it's not inscribed because this vertex is not on the edge of the circle, so I cannot use my quadrilateral rule. But I do have this 250, which is a central angle, so that would make this arc out here 250 as well. Central angles are equal to the arc. And angle 2 happens to be inscribed to that same arc, so that would be half. So angle 2 is 125 degrees. I also have this 360 degrees in here, so 360 minus 250 would get me 110. And then because a quadrilateral adds to 360, if you can remember from earlier in the year, I can take the 360 and subtract the 110, the 40, and the 125, and I would be left with 85 degrees for angle 1. Okay, now number 10, it's a little funny to look at. What they're telling you, this is an arrow, is that this arc here is 216 degrees, and that this arc here is the 144 degrees. So if you look at it that way, then from here to here being 216 means that this angle 2 is inscribed to it, and it would be half of that 216. Half of 216 is 108. Angle 1 and angle 2 have to be supplements, so 108 from 180 is 72. It's also half of the 144. So either way you go about doing that, you're going to get the same answers. Okay. For number 11, a few things are happening. We do have an inscribed angle, 56, so if I follow that outward, I would see that it is half of that arc. And so that arc is 56 means that that angle 56 means that the arc here is 112 from here to here, and angle 1 is central angle to that same arc, so angle 1 is also 112. And then I have the 360 here, so 360 minus 112 is 248. And now I have to find angle 2. Keep in mind, I do have a quadrilateral. It's inscribed because all 4 vertices are on the edges. So angle 2 and this 56 have to be supplements. And so 180 minus 56 is equal to 124. All right, for number 12, I have a diameter. So by Thales' theorem, angle A here must be 90. And so x plus 34 has to equal 90. And therefore, when I subtract 34 from both sides, I get that x is 56. They want us to find angle B, though, so I do need to substitute that back in. So 56 minus 25 is 31. And so the measure of angle B is 31 degrees. All right. In number 13, again, if you look at this, we have a diameter, so angle C has to be a right angle. And then what you have to look at is the rest of the information here. The radius is 12.5. That means that this and this are both radii. The entire diameter would have to be 25. AC is 7. They want us to find AB and BC. So I just found AB. That's going to be the 25. It's not degrees because that's a segment, and that doesn't use the same properties. Instead, what we have to do is look back to previous knowledge and use Pythagorean theorem now that I know I have a right triangle. So I have 7 squared. I'm going to find the missing leg, and the hypotenuse is the 25. So I have my 49 plus b squared equals 625. If I subtract 49 from both sides, I get 576. And then when you square root both sides, you'll get 24. That is one of the Pythag triples, 7, 24, 25. If you memorized it, you'd be all set. All right, number 14 is similar. We have a diameter, so we have a right angle. It says that the AB is the diameter of the circle with a radius of 17 miles. So I have 17 here and here, which means if I double that, I'm going to have 34 for AB. It says BC is 30 miles. What is AC? So we are looking for AC. Again, because I now know by Thales' theorem that I have a right triangle, I can plug all of my values in, making my hypotenuse 34. And I can solve that out. So 30 squared is 900. 34 squared is 1156. When I subtract the 900 from both sides, I get 256. And then when you square root both sides, you're going to get A is 16. And so AC is 16. All right, I will see you in class.